Now, the fact that this happened only in 1998, and I had never heard of it until I started doing research for this speech. So it really makes me wonder that what is it that we're doing that this comes across for us to forget issues such as this. So I kind of came up with that being the problem, we can also be the solution. It's been such an issue for so long that gay social justice has really just rolled by the wayside and hasn't brought to the forefront of people's minds for so long. But now I think we're seeing a turn, and especially here at Springfield College with today, that we can change people's minds and turn people to realizing that this is something that we need to keep doing more often and bring it to everybody's, agendas. So when we talk about social possibility, I say, we're lucky because of the things that Tom has done. We're lucky that we have the gay games. We are lucky that I can proclaim my sexuality on Facebook, and I can feel confident in doing that. And that's partly because of what Tom has done. We have the luxury of pride and dignity. We're very spoiled because we can do this. But our job is to not become complacent. We have to keep this as a motivating factor to be able to keep this on the forefront of everybody. Now, I write this next thing because a couple of weeks back, Joey and I were on Instagram, we're posting pictures, and a big thing in the lifting world is to write like gains, like getting big after, they make a post. And I was like, well, how cool would it be if we just took the I out, added a Y, and then put a Z at the end to make it gains? So this slowly just started as a funny thing that we were doing online. But it's quickly evolving into us making t-shirts. We are actually currently about to launch a website, and we're going to start doing seminars. And really our entire goal is to empower gay pride through strength and physique sports. Strength sports is somewhere completely untouched by the gay community because it is unbelievably intimidating to step into a gym as a gay man and have the ability to work out and train the way they want to, because it's always seen as, they're always being targeted. So what I wanted to kind of close up with today is, congratulations to Springfield College, congratulations to Marty Dobrow and President Cooper for really recognizing Tom Waddell and everything he has done and bringing this and making everybody recognize how important this issue is. This is only the beginning for what Springfield College will do for Tom Waddell and recognizing it, but I can hope it just trickles out into the rest of the world so we can realize the impact that this can have. So once again, just to wrap up, we're here for celebration and excitement for what Tom has done. And then a final quote that I found that I wanted to leave you all with. It's something that I find I hold true to myself and I think really represents Tom in an amazing way. That reputation is for time, but character is for eternity. Pretending to be a heterosexual man for so long, I was worried about my reputation and I was worried about how I was going to be seen. But once I broke down that barrier and said, you know what, screw my reputation, I want to be happy, it opened up the possibilities for me to be a better person and to present myself the way I am today. So, thank you very much. That's all I got to say. And I just really wanted to open it up. I mean, I know we're a little bit short on time, but if, have like 5 minutes, if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to ask, I am an open book. What's up, Jack?
How did you train to put your 400?
So there's a gym actually 20 minutes away from here that they have all the strongman equipment that we need to train. So I actually go down there 3 days a week, and I work out. Usually for a contest, I train for about 3 months for each contest. That's with dieting and training and everything like that. So, and then, luckily was able to hit the lift of 425 pounds. Yeah.
So do you have a personal tailor?
I'll tell you what, getting suits for proms is the worst. And any formal and stuff like that, because I have 55-inch shoulders and a 38-inch waist. There's no coat that they make or that they tailor, when you rent a suit. That's something I have to look into, though. I need that. Yeah.
How does your lower back hold up?
A a lot of really good form, a lot of coaching. I mean, I've been doing this since, I started weightlifting when I was a sophomore in high school, and just had proper coaching throughout my entire time. So knowing, and I mean, another thing is just, monitoring my progress, knowing when I can push it a little bit or when I have to step back. That's also a big thing as well. Judy?
Rob, I think it's interesting that you're doing an individual sport because there's so much pressure on teams to belong. Do you think the climate is changing here on campus for lesbian athletes and hopefully for gay male athletes on teams to be welcome?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely do think it is. I mean, you could just see by the amount of students that came here today, being open to, this social change and everything like that. I think people are slowly becoming more aware that, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I want to date you. And that's always the big stereotype that everybody thinks, that there's a gay guy in the locker room, they're going to be checking it out. Well, guess not. I'm not. So I think it's people are slowly realizing that, yeah, this is just who we are, and there's no reason to be discriminate against them. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your family's reaction to you?
My family was great. I told my mom, and she said, "Well, the cheerleading thing." That was her first reaction. Thanks, Ma. I told my dad, and the first thing he said, "Well, can I still say gay jokes?" So, I mean, they've been great. My cousins, aunts, uncles, Joey actually just met my entire family over Easter weekend. They all loved him, which is great. And no, it's been really exciting, and everybody's just embraced it fully. So, we'll go over here.
Have you had any discussion with medical personnel about the implications of the freedom that you felt that increased your abilities?
I haven't. Being an athletic trainer, though, I mean, it's definitely something that I should look into. I mean, I definitely attribute my increase in performance to being true to myself and finally being happy and not having that stress that I've, been burdened by for 22 years. But that's, wow, interesting. Thank you. Andy?
Yeah, actually, my question was something similar. I found it interesting that you missed the 400 pounds, but you got 425. This is your second time in the Worlds, right?
This is my second time at that contest, yeah.
How was your mentality different this time in the Worlds? I mean, Joey was there, and you had all the support, and you were out happy. So how was your mentality different?
I'll tell you what. So I went to this competition last year in 2013 or 2014, and yeah, I actually took 21st in the world at my first time at the competition. 1 year later, I take 4th. Pretty not bad, my mentality was I was there to have fun. I knew the events. I knew I was going to be able to do well, and I was confident in myself. Finally, I was really confident in myself in a competition because I knew I had the support system, and I knew everything really had peaked perfectly just for that moment. Then I guess I'll take one more. In the back?
So you obviously are true to yourself first, and competing internationally, I guess I see this as your opportunity to teach internationally, where this is certainly probably not accepted across the spectrum. And how are you, I guess, welcomed by the international community?
So when I came out on Facebook, I was inundated with messages and friend requests and people trying to get in touch with me. And I can honestly say that out of everything that I got, there was a minuscule amount of people that had a negative reaction to me coming out. Everybody, especially in the strength community, was unbelievably supportive. I had guys that compete at World's Strongest Man sticking up for me and saying that I have their support no matter what I do. A gentleman, Brian Shaw from Colorado, he's 6'8", 440 pounds, is a good friend of mine, and he told me that, no matter what happens, I always have your back. So it really is just, I think the acceptance, especially in the strength community, was something that I was a little bit surprised at, the fact that everybody accepted me so well. And, it's been amazing, for sure. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.
Rob, thank you so very much. We introduced Rob as a modern-day Tom Waddell, and I think the parallel is clear. There are a lot of smiles in this room when Rob is talking, and you know, if Tom Waddell can see us now, I think we would see that wonderfully sensitive, mischievous, delightful smile of his, just beaming right now. Rob is really beloved in this community, top to bottom. He's been a trustee, you know, founder of our a cappella group. The other day when the posters went up for the Tom Waddell Day and there was mention of Rob Carney giving the keynote address, I went into lunch at Cheney, and Nancy, who does the checkout of the your ID cards and checks you in, very, very kind woman, just looked over, saw my name on it too, and she said, "Do you think you could ask Rob to come by and say hi to me again?" I mean, he has that, you know, he just has that impact on everyone, and this was a real gift to all of us, Rob, so thank you so much. And I'll launch into my closing comments by segueing off of a really thought-provoking thing that you said in your comments about what happens when society disregards important people and how that's everyone's concern. That was part of the impetus for this day, was exactly that. Tom Waddell was a remarkable person in the Springfield College community and in the world. And there are people here who knew him well, loved him dearly. And Springfield College has been on a journey to claim and proclaim Tom Waddell. It hasn't always happened as quickly as we might like, but it is happening. It's great to see that. Rick told that great story about the celebration of Tom Waddell's life on campus after he passed away in 1987, and I wish I could have been here for that. That sounded like it was remarkable. There were a few things that were missing, though. There was, in the remembrance of Tom Waddell's life that Phyllis Plotnick referenced so poignantly during our second hour, there was this, you know, wonderful accounting of his athletic skill, his work as a doctor, some of his social justice contributions, but we completely skirted the inconvenient truth of his being gay and starting the gay games. So too with his Hall of Fame plaque. When he finally did get into the Hall of Fame, and that was largely through Jack Savoya's advocacy. Jack didn't get to tell the story, but Jack traveled out to San Francisco toward the very end of Tom's life and assured him, "We're going to get you in the Hall of Fame." And by all rights, an athlete of his stature should have been in the Hall of Fame long before. But it didn't happen until after he died. And in 1990, he finally was inducted. And there is, to this day, in Blake Arena, his plaque is there, and it's a nice accounting of some of his remarkable athletic achievements. And then there is this line at the bottom of it, this sort of oblique, if poetic line about him being a catalyst for greater understanding, which is true. But it still did not touch upon the contribution to the gay games. And that, I think, we regard around here as his greatest legacy. And so today, we are here to sort of continue our own evolution with that. And that's what this day has largely been about. And I think there's no better way to sort of give this the greatest possible institutional sanction than by calling up our wonderful president, Dr. Mary Beth Cooper, who will have a few comments, and then we will ask her to do the unveiling, if you will, of this new supplementary plaque that will soon be installed next to Tom's original one. So, Dr. Cooper.
So I'm going to close the session for us too, but before I unveil the plaque, I do want to say just a few words to so many of you that came out today. And I'm going to start with Marty, because Marty doesn't like a lot of attention drawn to him. But I have to tell you, you are such a gift to this college. And for so many different reasons, but most importantly, it is the way that you tell the stories of the people that are in the past and that are here presently, that you give them a voice. And so we are grateful for your skill set and bringing people back to life. Thank you for everything that you do. So, you know, Jeff, I want to thank you for coming and giving us, did Jeff leave? Is he still here? There's Jeff. Thank you for coming and giving us the history. That was a wonderful, wonderful story for you to share with us. And I know that it means a great deal for you to be with us. For us to have you here and talk about that gave us a great context. And I did mention to Jeff that I wanted him to tell his mom that I thought she looked great. You know, and there's no shame in being last, because some of us have been last before, but there's no shame in it. And I think when I looked at the picture, all I saw was that she was beating you and your father. Thank you. Right? Everything's relative. And to our great panelists, I can't even give you the credit that is due to you for all of your stories. It really was wonderful. So I will say briefly, Mimi, there is nobody like you. You know, I mean, you're one of a kind. And I'll leave it at that. And I say that, and you know, poor Marty comes up here, and I knew Mimi was going to come over here. And, of course, she said, you don't mind. And Marty hesitated for a second, and I thought, Marty, do not hesitate. Move away from the podium. Mimi is going to win. So Marty's pretty smart. He understood that. But what I love best about you, Mimi, is you're always the educator. Always the educator. And for me, that is just so special, and asking people to raise their hands and demonstrating with just a simple example, it just shows who you are fundamentally at your core. So thank you, Mimi. Quickly, Jack, I'd let that nickname go. I wouldn't ask anybody else about it. I might not ever tell that story again. We might even be able to go in and take that out of the video. But you are so much better than that nickname. Gone. Let it go. And seriously, Phyllis, I'm so glad you were with us today. And I'm so sad that you were disconnected for so long. We are a better community with you in us and being a part of us. And so I'm so glad that you are here today. And I hope you continue to stay with us. We need you. And of course, to our modern day Tom Waddell, Rob, your story has just begun. I know that, and you know that. So go do good things. For me, when I think about last Saturday night, we had a senior formal, and some of us might have been on the dance floor longer than others, so the story goes. That could have been me, and it could have been me and my husband. But what was interesting when Dave met these guys when we came in, he said, Dave, you know, my husband, we've only been a part of this community for 18 months. He said, that's what I love about Springfield College. It's such an accepting place, and it's no big deal. And so for those of you that have a different memory of Springfield College, for some of the community that's new to Springfield College, this is how we are. And so if it's any good indication that we are changing, that for me was really representative of, you know, we can be better, and we know we can be better, and today is a bit part of that. Which brings me to the plaque. And so one of the things that you may not know about Marty is that when he calls you, you really can't say no, right? And everybody has different mantras that they live by, and one of mine is no regrets. And I can do very little about what has happened prior to my arrival anywhere, right? I mean, none of us can. When you think about the things that have happened in the past, what can you do to correct things? What really is important is what you do from this point on. You know, and for many of us, thank you. For many of us, we think about that and how we live our days and how what we say to people in passing or the people that we love, and making sure that we don't miss a moment, right? And so today really in many ways is a call to action. We had a wonderful speaker yesterday, and I know a number of you were with us. We heard a Holocaust survivor talk about her call to action to the community about not being a bystander, and it just fits perfectly with today as well. This really is a call to action. If there are infractions or there are things that have happened or injustices that you can correct, do it. Why wait? There's no reason to wait. Many of us don't think we have the power, the authority, the control. The answer is we do. And so there